Hi, good morning, everyone, and welcome to today's live session of Let's Talk About Market. The Nifty Index has seen a very good run in the past 2 days, and we had been highlighting this possibility. There are a lot of interesting data points that are now shaping up, and what are the things that you need to watch out for. That will broadly be the discussion point, and how to think about short term, how to think about medium term, and how to be careful of seeing when the short term move is over exaggerated. I mean, these are all the points that we will try and cover today. So let me quickly share my screen, and please someone can confirm whether you all are able to see my screen properly or no. Okay, and more importantly, if you all are able to hear me properly. Let me also get my mic close by. Okay, can someone please confirm if they are able to see my screen properly? Can someone please comment and confirm it? Okay, thanks, Shankara Roy. We had spoken about this in length for the Nifty index. So, we were watching out basically for the 40-hour exponential average over here that was broken for one candle, but then it again came back. And the other thing that we were then watching out for was that whether there is a bullish crossover or no, and that bullish crossover had come somewhere around this candle, okay, which was say 25 250, and from there we have seen a runaway rally in the Nifty index. Now when we look at the daily chart and we zoom out a bit, what we see is a breakout from this resistance line. Okay, and broadly, if you remember, the resistance zone that we were talking about was this, right? It was 25 450 to 25 330 zone. That was an important resistance, and yesterday that was broken decisively. And then you can see how good the follow-up move has been after that. Okay, now please try and understand what is happening from a medium term perspective, okay, because that will give you the bird's eye view, and that will probably help you a lot in riding the trend with confidence. Okay, because we have seen this runaway rally. Probably the complaint would be that the stocks have not participated and so on. Look at the data points that I'll be highlighting today, and see how they shape up, because as long as they are in that right direction, I would think that this trend should continue. But broadly, in a layman term, what this might look like is an up move, a consolidation, and now probably again an up move that is unfolding. And the good part is that this consolidation has happened almost for 3-4 months, in which there was this runaway rally that we saw. After that, it digested all the gains, and now it is trying to again inch higher. Okay, so now the important thing that would happening this week is that there will be a bullish crossover, and as you can see over here on the left hand side as well, and that should indicate that a new leg of up move should ideally start. Because see, when we are in an uptrend, ideally something of this sort will happen, right? There was an up move, then there was a consolidation. In that consolidation, it came back to the zero line, and then after, when it gives a bullish crossover, it will start its next leg of up move. Okay, this is how usually the RMI cycles play out. And when it is very trending market, okay, this works very well. Say for example, when the averages are held, say over here, up move, consolidation, up move, again a consolidation, up move. So in such cases, the cycles will work very well, like you can see even in 2004 2008. Okay, up move, consolidation, RMI coming back to the zero line, and boom, we have the new move on the upside. Again a correction, almost back to the 40, and then again an up move. So when the markets are very strong and trending, usually this averages will not break on the downside, and averages not breaking on the downside and the Nifty index respecting that itself suggests that probably this is a good trending market that can follow. because that is what the past has shown us. Over here also you can see that there was a big trending move from 16,000 to 26,000, which lasted for a year, in which there were 2-3 months of correction or sideways consolidation phase that we saw. And in such phases you ended up testing the 40-week average, and then again, and it was an up move. So I would tend to think that something of this sort is happening. And what is even supporting that is the FI's positioning, which yesterday I spoke about it in length. So you can see that any medium term indicator you see, okay, so this is the template that I had made for medium term setup, which is client plus FI positioning. Okay, you can see that at an extreme on the downside. Okay, and whenever it is at the extreme on the downside, it generally suggests uh, this bullish outlook, and eventually the rise unfolds on the upside. So that is client plus FII. You have this indicator at the bottom, okay, suggesting that it's an extreme oversold zone. Client are usually extremely long at the bottom. Okay, as you can see over here. So let me just draw those vertical lines only for you to understand. Okay, now this is what happened over here. This is where we are now, and now you can see almost everything, almost all the indicators that you see are pointing out towards extreme readings, right? Client plus FI on the downside, client standalone on the upside. So usually at the bottoms they are extremely bullish, and this is what we are seeing right now as well. FIIs are extremely negative. We'll talk about this. I mean, yesterday finally we saw a very good short covering move by FIIs, and that was just one day of up move, and they covered almost 25,000 contract or so. Okay, so I'll talk about this as well. But you can see breadth also, right? Breadth also towards the lower line, and this is where it is concerning for many of the people that the up move is happening but the breadth is not picking up. I would suspect that as this short covering rally plays out, the breadth should improve, and I think that is where the opportunity is. Okay, so let me show you how. Let me maximize the dashboard and I'll tell you what exactly is happening, so that you understand. Now you can see, wait, let me just also put the setup. Okay, now you can see that this was the decline that Nifty index saw, and it has surpassed this high, right? For the Nifty index at least, correct? Now you see the small cap index. Okay, it is still not above this high, and it is almost at, say, the 61.8% retracement level or so. Now the ones who are skeptical, they may say that, oh, small cap is weak. But see, here two things can happen. I mean, probably small cap should eventually catch up on the upside, which is frankly what I am expecting, because when you see the other setups on the daily, weekly chart, okay, it is sort of following the Nifty setup only, right? Up move, consolidation. In that consolidation, it has almost gone back to the zero line, respected the average, and it is now trying to rise higher. Okay, now this, if you see it in mid cap, a similar thing is happening, right? Up move over here, the 40-week has been respected very well. Okay, in fact, it did not even break above that, and we have those perfect setups that is now forming. The only thing is that this move is taking a bit of a time to unfold. So mid cap you see has just broken above this high, right? But if you see Nifty index, it has gone past that meaningfully. So I think typically what happens is that when there is skepticism, usually large caps are bidded first, then comes mid cap, and then comes small cap. Okay, now if the mid cap have risen high, large caps have risen higher, this is a precursor to the move that can happen to mid and small caps. And I think that is where the real opportunity lies, and that is where probably the market has not discovered. That is what I suspect. but because we are playing for those FII ka short covering rally and all, so you typically, when they want to come back in the markets, okay, so large caps are the one that they tend to bid for. So that is where we are seeing those move in the large caps. And in fact, someone also pointed out yesterday, if you see the dip in the INR as well, that has been very good. And that is an additional trigger also for the Nifty index. And I think that if the USD INR breaks this channel also on the downside, then everything will fall into place. FI short covering, that in turn leading to money coming in the market, and that leading to USD INR falling, and all those positive impacts will start rubbing off then. So that is what the expectation is. Now, yesterday, if you remember, I was talking about sectors, right? And you can see that see all those sectors which are in dumps right now, be it FMCG and all those things, uh, they would need some trigger for things to turn around. Okay. And you could see that yesterday, I mean, while we were discussing, and after that, Nestle's result came, and out of nowhere, this index is now up, just 3% in 3 days. That too for FMCG is a big thing, because they just tend to be sideways. And then that's where the opportunity lies. You have to find out places where the supports are holding, and then they are trying to turn around. Okay. And that's where the opportunity is. Now, the time frame and everything will differ, because what I am speaking of right now is more from a medium term perspective. Say what can happen next 2 to 3 months, that is what I'm talking about. But once you know that picture, all you tend to do is that just try and execute on the lower time frame, which means that if I feel that the medium term, the Nifty index can say rise higher to 28,000, 30,000, which is what I was talking about yesterday, right? So then what do we do is that if there is an up move in the Nifty index, fine, we participate over there. If there is a correction, we need to wait patiently for getting the next leg move. I mean, next leg on the upside, correct, right? So for that, the process will still be the same, which is that, so if I say Nifty index, okay, what happened over here, a similar thing can unfold again, which means up move, then there is a bit of a consolidation. In that consolidation, you will see the RMI dipping, and then again you will see an up move. Okay. Now we are seeing this, so at some point of time this is going to happen, right? There will be some corrective pullback, which can lead to RMI again going back to the zero line, and then once we get a bullish crossover, that's where the next opportunity lies. Okay. So what I'm trying to say is that there will be opportunities everywhere in the market. Just try and understand what is happening in the bigger picture. If you get that call right, I think your 50-60% of the job is done. Then you all need to do is to find sectors and stocks. I mean, this is what we have extensively spoken about in the past 2-3 days, because that's where the market was not doing anything, and I was trying to help you all to understand how to scan and how to be prepared. Now we are finally seeing that move. And I am again telling you that if you see the breadth, that is very weak right now. Okay. Ideally, I would expect that as the market inches higher, you will see the breadth picking up. So the breadth picking up means you should be able to see a broad based participation at some point of time. So that's where then you need to find good stocks with good risk reward as well. Now see, I'll just give you one example. Okay. And that is how I'm just trying to help you to how to think about it. Okay. Now, say for example, I told you about FMCG, right? And I think DV, I don't know, he's there. Uh, uh, DV, I don't know if he's there in this live stream, but he was, I think, pointing out towards Kolpal, he or Devesh Agarwal, I don't know. But that's where when I also have a conversation with y'all, or we do this live session, even y'all come up with some ideas, and those are sometimes worth looking at. And I think one such was Kolpal, okay, which means Colgate. Now, I'll tell you why this stock caught my attention. That is because if you see the 200 week, Okay, so see over here, one thing is that we have provided you all the tools, but you will need to do some research for you to come to some conclusion, right? So you can see that Kolpal, how beautifully since 2004 it has been taking support at the 200 week moving average, and this is what seems to be happening now as well. Almost in the last dip, 200 week got tested, and from there we got reversal. Now again there is a pullback, and now it is trying to turn around. Now this, coupled with a lot of short positions happening in the futures as well, which again it had seen a very dramatic fall from the top of 4,000, right? And from there you have seen big shorts getting built. Now what is interesting over here is divergence in open interest, which means at this low the open interest was this high, right? Now it has almost come back towards the previous low, but the open interest is very low. Now this means that in this decline, people have not shorted to that extent as they were shorting earlier. Now this is some information that helps you to understand that possibly the selling pressure is now abating. Okay, now if the selling pressure is abating, so what can happen next, right? Then it should ideally turn around. So then if it is turning around, now the it has respected the 200 week, and now the stock is turning around. So then you simply go to the Rohit setup and analyze what is the setup that is now happening. On the daily chart, it has finally crossed the 40-day average, okay, which is a good sign. But over here we still see that this is the resistance level which it needs to clear to get some momentum on the upside, right? So this is the resistance level. Now you see on the weekly what is happening. Okay, so over here, it is almost now trying to close above the 20 week. Now we have learned earlier that if the 20 week breaks on the upside, then 40 week is what usually the stock will like to target, and that is what seems to be happening now. Okay, I think that once this breaks and sustains above this, again, see, I am being very clear, I don't want to recommend anything, but I'm just trying to teach you through the process how you can select the stock. So now on the weekly, I know that it has been sustaining below the 40 week for quite some time now, right? But all I know is that if the 20 week breaks on the downside, on the upside, then it should at least go to 40 week. Now when it comes to 40 week, we'll again revisit. But if it closes below the 20 week today, it will be an indication that the stock should rise higher, probably towards the 40 week. Now if the 40 week is then tested and broken on the upside, there will be two things that will be happening. One is the breakout from this trend line, and the second one would be closing above the 40 week after a very, very long time. Okay, after almost 1 year of downtrend, this would be happening. So then this could be a trigger that something new move could be unfolding in the stock, and that's where you need to be careful. I mean, that's where you need to be watchful, because on the monthly chart what is happening is that there was an up move, then there was this correction, and then a base building over here. In that case, the RMI has gone back to the zero line, and when it gives a bullish crossover, it could be an indication that this decline is coming to an end. Now, which would mean two things: either we just see a retracement of this stock, of this decline, and then again it falls, or it starts some new move. But anyways, I mean, these are all things that you can't predict right at the start, but you always have to try and form a view, so that uh, if the, now say for example the up move happens, okay, now you are aware of the outcome that can happen, right? It can either be a pullback or a decline. So in this case, probably if the 40 week breaks on the upside, then you might want to target for 50 and 61.8. It's only when 61.8 does not break, then that's where you will be a little skeptical, and you might want to lighten your position and so on. But that is how you should be thinking about stuffs. Okay, so look out for those kind of setups. Now see, I'll again tell you, in my view, I mean, we are seeing this move all the way from 2020, right? What is happening is that one index moves higher, then it takes a backseat, then some other index comes into play that will push the market higher, then it will take a step back, then some other index will come. I mean, that way the rotation will keep happening. Okay. So like I mentioned to you, Nifty FMCG index, which has been towards the lower end of the range, from there we have seen a very good move in FMCG index. Now I think if you see Nifty IT, okay, this is also one dark horse according to me, where almost the expectation is zero from this index to deliver anything. And on the early chart, when I was seeing today, I can actually see a good flag pattern developing over here, right? So I think once Nifty IT also breaks on the upside, you should be able to see some good momentum on the upside. Now, why I am saying this, please understand the process. Okay. When I look at the monthly picture, what has happened is that it has come back towards the 40 month. Okay. Anything 40 month, so think of it this way, that in a week there are 5 days. So 40 month is nothing but your 200 week. Okay. I'm not telling about 200 day, but 200 week. So anything that comes back to the 200 week or 40 month for that example, and then it is turning around, it typically offers you a good risk reward. Okay. It typically offers you a good risk reward. Okay. Now in this case, what I am also seeing is that, for all those people who don't know, this is nothing but hidden divergence. Okay. Which means that prices are making higher highs, but RSI, sorry, so this is price action. Okay, this is indicator, which is RSI. So RSI is doing something like this. So where the indicator is making newer lows, but the index is making higher highs. Now, when such sort of patterns occur, these are usually very good and bullish reversal signs. So to be very honest, I would be very hopeful of IT, and I have been speaking about this for quite some time now. That is because even in IT stocks, if you see, there is a massive short that has happened in any stock you pick up. So today, you're seeing those shorts in Wipro. That is because of bad results. Um, Now, you please understand one thing. You will always need a price action reversal also to happen, to anticipate a move on the upside. So at some point of time, when Wipro breaks this trend line on the upside and starts trading above it, that's where the momentum will shift towards the bullish side. But until that does not happen, you have to wait and be patient to see how things unfold. Okay. Now, say for example, this now Infi also is witnessing short position because of today's decline. So you can see over here also there is a big mood, big short position that has been built up. But in all this case, what is happening is that while the prices have come back towards the previous low, there are not the open interest is not as high as it was towards the previous peak, which means now the selling pressure is slowly abating, right? So in such cases, you would need the prices to turn around. Now, for the prices to turn around, as I mentioned, look at this setup. This is very easy setup, and I don't think it can get more simpler than this. Which means that you need, for a medium term move, you need two things to happen. That is breaking above both these weekly averages. Once that happens, I think the momentum will pick up. On the daily chart, it did try to break above the 40-day, but frankly, what is happening is that the stock is possibly forming some sort of a triangular pattern, I feel over here. uh, I think once it breaks the pattern either on the upside or downside, it should see a trending move, and my guess would be it should break out on the upside. That is because now the broader trend of the market is trending higher. So suppose Infosys is the one, okay. Then you have other things like persistent system and all those things. They have already posted a good result, and they have seen a runaway rally after that, right? So the thing is that you can either wait for the stocks or at least chase the stocks where the momentum is high. Okay. So you might want to, then look at such stocks, because over here also what is happening is that, this trend line, it is on the verge of, it is almost trading over there. So because we have seen a runaway rally, there can be some correction or consolidation over here. But then again, that those opportunities may arise is what I am thinking about all these stocks. Okay, so that is how, you will have to position yourself. So as I mentioned, within these dark horses, basically it is the FMCG and IT, which, generally are safe also, and they move a little slowly. But on the trending side, on the upside, okay, I would think that Nifty PSC, sorry, Nifty, I'll have to do PS. So PST index is nothing but the government stocks, okay, public sector enterprises. So over here also you see that there is a nice consolidation that is happening above the averages, and I think once it breaks out from this congestion, we should get a good move. Okay, then PSU Bank, it is already doing well, but right now, it seems to be consolidating a bit. So all this case, now see over here, it has been rising higher and it has been respecting all the averages. So you have to go on the hourly chart and try to find those setups. Now see, there was an up move, then there was this pullback towards the 40 hour average, and now prices are trying to turn around. Now when you end up getting a bullish crossover here, that would be an indication that, again one pop can come. So that's how, you will have to try and time these indices, because, if you wait for a major correction to happen, I think, as we are starting to trend higher and there are huge short positions in the system, you may not necessarily get a big pullback. Okay, so in such cases, go on the hourly chart and try to be more apt on the timing, based on the setups that we have. So it is PSU Bank. Then the other one is, metals. Metals also, if you see, how nicely they are respecting the averages and inching higher, right? So over here also, right now it is in a consolidation phase. Now, until this high does not break, okay. So yes, until, why am I not able to draw? Hmm? I don't know, for some reason I'm not able to draw. But anyways, uh, wait 1 minute. Hello, are you able to hear me properly? I hope there is not an internet issue like yesterday. Hmm. Can someone please comment if you all are able to hear me properly? Okay, so I think there. Okay, I'm not sure what has happened. Yeah, let me get back. So Nifty PSC, sorry, it is CNX PSC for us. Sorry, PSC Bank I was talking. No, sorry, it was my bad. It was metals that we were talking about. So in this case, in metals, this can certainly happen that if this range does not break on the upside, it can consolidate. It can probably come to the 40-day as well. That is the worst case that we will expect. In such case, what may happen is that the RMI may go back to the zero line and only then pick up. So that's where the opportunity will lie over there. So, you will have to find such setups. I think yesterday I had spoken about this, that Nifty Auto gave that opportunity yesterday, right? There was a bullish crossover that we saw yesterday, and now we are seeing a pickup in momentum. Now, this is what we are seeing on an index level. The same thing we have to replicate on the scanners as well. Simply go to the scanners. Let me, take one basket of, say, FNO stocks, and just try to see which are the ones that are giving new buy. So I'm sticking to the daily chart over here. You can probably look at the weekly chart or the hourly chart depending on what time frame you look at. But say on daily chart, BDL not so great because it is below the averages. HAL, the setup looks very good. That is because there is an up move, there is a consolidation, and in this consolidation, it has come back towards the zero line, and now it seems to be turning around. So this has a very nice setup, and more importantly, it comes into the PSE basket as well. So that is a good thing. Muthoot Finance not a good setup because it has been trending higher. For if you want to see a setup for Muthoot, you might probably have to go to the early chart and try to time those pullbacks like this. But on the daily chart, it is not giving an opportunity. If you see Naukri, not a good setup because averages, it is still below the averages. NTPC, okay, it's a decent setup because there has been a break of 40-day, but now it is again coming back and trying to respect that. So again, this is a PSC stock. Okay, if you see Tata Consumer, which is into FMCG, a very nice setup that we are seeing. Up move, consolidation, and now again an up move. Now, in such cases, now please always remember that in such cases, your reversal levels are typically the lowest point, right? And if you feel that it has gone way too much on the upside, then wait for it to pull back a bit. Keep such stocks on your radar, but wait for it to pull back a bit and then try to time it if it does not matches your risk reward. Okay. Then the other one is Torrent Pharma. This also is an interesting setup. I'll say it interesting because it is some sort of forming a triangular pattern that you're seeing over here, something like this. So okay, I mean, this is a decent setup, not that great, but it is nevertheless a good setup. And United Spirits, you see, it has been in a range. I mean, this range is not breaking on the upside. So if I had the scanner, I mean, if I had the scanners, so one that looks very good is actually HAL, and the other one was Tata Consumer. Okay. Because of the setup that they are trending on. Now, if I have to do that, the same thing on the Arly, for example. Okay, I'll just try to see if on Arly there are any interesting setups that we are getting. Angel One, not a good setup. Inox Wind is a decent setup because up move, consolidation, and now it is trying to rise higher. This is an interesting setup, honestly. Um KFIN, again a good setup, up move, consolidation happening, and now trying to inch higher. Okay, PI, it is dead. It is forming some sort of a triangle pattern, but it is dead. On the daily chart, it is below the averages. So I might want to avoid this. Maybe if I just want to play for that small pop, I might be interested in this, provided we get this breakout of a triangle consolidation. But SBI Life, again a good setup, up move, consolidation, up move. So the broader idea is that this is how you might want to scan those stocks. So firstly, get a good view from the of the market from the sentiment indicators. And again, see, there is one more interesting thing that I want to show you. In the past 2 days, the Nifty index has inched higher very strongly. But if you see the swing and the average swing, it is not inching higher. Now, this sort of suggests that there is skepticism and the stocks are not seeing that momentum. And the stock seeing not that momentum is getting reflected by the small cap and the mid cap index, the very average move. I mean, in the past 2 days, when the Nifty index has almost moved up 2%, this has barely rise higher 0.3%, and that's why you're not getting those broad-based participation. I think once you start getting that, even you will see the swing again rising higher. And such kind of pullbacks are very normal over here. Now see this. Okay, you are in this trending move. The markets are trending, so there will be some cool off of momentum, but then again it will pick up again in this consolidation, a cool off, then again it will pick up. And mind you, swing, average swing, these are very fast indicators. Okay, so it can so happen that 1 or 2 days of consolidations happen in the Nifty index, and you might end up seeing swing to 10 or 20 as well. So that's where the next opportunity will come for a trending move on the upside. Okay, so that's it. I mean, I can go on and on today because there are a lot of things to there were a lot of things to discuss. And just lastly, you can see the derivative positioning of the FIs, and there has been this massive short covering that we have seen yesterday. Okay, that is almost, you can see that there was a long addition happening and a short that was moved out from the system, and that resulted into 26,000 net change overall. Okay, so I think this trend should continue. And and if we see the pattern repeating, you might end up seeing FII's net long position. I mean, from short, they might ultimately go to the long position, and they might end up going to 60,000 contracts as well. That's where probably we will take a step back and think that we need to be a little worried now. But until then, I think there is a good runway that is there ahead of us, and that's where we need to grab the opportunity. Um, Hina Prabhakar says, so Nifty PSE is yeah. So PSE, PSU, Bank, Metals, these are all taking backseat at this point of time. But I think, if you see the overall pattern, there is just a sideways consolidation that we are seeing. And I think eventually that should also resolve on the upside, where we eventually see a pickup in the momentum. So I think that's all I have to talk today. I mean, if you'll have any questions, you can let me know. I did not realize, but I was talking for last 30 minutes. So if you'll have any questions, we can take it up. Else we can wind up for the day. We'll have to try and close by 11:40, 11:45. So any questions or any questions regarding the thought process, or how should we view this, how should we view that? I would be happy to walk you through what I'm thinking about it. Deepak, no questions today. That's a good thing. That probably means that you have understood the concept. I mean, you're trying to understand the concept clearly. That's a good thing. So no question actually in a way is good, because then I would assume that we are all on the same page. And yeah, happy Diwali to everyone. Wish you a very prosperous new year as well, and great wealth and good health. Any questions? I'll wait for a minute. Okay, that's really heartening to hear. Where we enter to index on buy side. See, I am not recommending, but I am just telling you the process. I just briefly touched upon it, Akash. See, now I think the next signal in the Nifty index would probably come, provided if you are a positional guy. Uh, the opportunity will come when there is a pullback in the Nifty index. Okay, when there is a pullback in the on 1 hour. Okay, when there is a pullback in the Nifty index, and in that pullback, say it tests the averages, and you end up seeing the RMI, going back to the zero line and then picking up. I think that's where the next opportunity is. I mean, for this move, I think this move is done, and probably it can again trend higher. But please try and understand, if you want to time those short term moves, you will have to go lower and lower time frame. The process will still remain the same, which means wait for a pullback, wait for RMI to go back to the zero line, and then again wait for the momentum to pick up on the upside. The process will remain the same. So for Nifty, that is the case. But if you're not getting an opportunity in the index, there are a lot of stocks which are presenting that opportunity. We just spoke about that in the scanners. See what fits your risk appetite, and see where you are comfortable, and try to find such setups. HD with RMI, is that coming on strike? uh, yeah, that is coming on strike. If you're seeing which stocks are having those setups, I mean that you will need to find out. But you can do those reverse math over here then. See, basically, if I see the strike valuation setup, yes, this is happening, this is opening. But which are the stocks that are doing that? I mean, you will have to do that work. You'll have to go to the scanner, okay, try to find which are the ones that are new buys. And once you get the stocks which are in new buy, say on the daily time frame, okay, then you will have to start, checking their setups on the valuation front. So that is the reverse way which you will have to do. So you'll have to put in some efforts of doing that. Deepak says, I am your person be based on, do you see any interesting sectors? Not a technical question. No, so I don't know. See, to be very honest, Deepak, macro stuff is good to know the overall thing, but I think chart setups are the ones which are more powerful, because that's where the entire people, because that's where entire people are trading and their wisdom is over there. So price action tells you a lot of things. Macro news is okay. I mean, just a few minutes back I got a message that Trump is going to put a 500% tariff on China and all those stuff. So frankly, just be with the trend. Once you know that if the risks are high, really, or reversal levels, I think that is the way to go. No, Akhilesh, as I mentioned, as of now, we don't have those scanners. You will have to do those reverse filters. Basically, try to find the ones which are new buy, and then for now, you will have to go on each stock and do that. I think we have a weekend ahead of us. I mean, you will surely get some time to do that work. But yeah, as of now, we don't have that scanner ready yet. Which can be given to everyone. So yeah, I think it's 11:42 now. I think we should end the session. So just a brief summary. The Nifty index has been breaking many important levels in the past few days, and the setup is also very good for a good move to occur on the medium term basis. Based on the FI short covering and all other data points. I mean, the breadth, which is still very bad, we should eventually see some pickup over there as well. That is what honestly my expectation would be. And all this will hold true as long as the Nifty index is, holding above the daily averages and trending higher. So yeah, with those thoughts, I would take a leave for today. Let's catch up on Monday. I'm not sure if we are having holiday or no. I think the Murat is on Tuesday, so Monday there will be a regular session. So we should be meeting on Monday, and yeah, we should be meeting on Monday. There is one question from Akash. I think subscribe yearly plan of strike. How I learn strike tutorial to use smoothly. Akash, just go to the help section. Okay, wait. I'll just show you quickly how to do it. You know, go to the help section, raise a ticket, and ask someone to give you a demo. We would be happy to give you the demo. You can just put over your help difficulty in understanding, and you can put can you give a demo. Someone from our team will call you and run you through how to use strike. Okay. And once you are accustomed with how to use strike, you can go to the help section and check the videos. So we have tried to put the videos of the unique features that we have, and where there is a definite way to trade those strategies. So those are the ones we have put out over here. You can have a look at them and try to be more I- I'm sure this will help you to use strike more efficiently. Okay. Thank you, Hina. Happy Diwali to you and your family as well, and to the entire members of the strike. Happy Diwali. Wish you a very prosperous one, and hope you have a great health as well. Akash, thank you very much. Please do get in touch with me do raise a ticket, someone will surely get in touch. If they don't, please let me know. I'll personally ask them to get in touch. Okay. Thanks a lot once again, and see you on Monday. Thanks.